Hey everybody, Jim Hall, You Ought to Know, and where are we today and what season is this? Well, obviously it is the holiday season and it's all about the Christmas tree. And today we're back in a familiar location. In fact, we were here during Halloween. But this is the Christmas season and we're back to help pick out that special Christmas tree. And why are we here? In Yucaipa, California, just off Interstate 10. Live Oak Canyon is where we are, and we're at the Live Oak Canyon Christmas Tree Farm, and we're going to find out what it takes to raise a Christmas tree, what it takes to cut a Christmas tree, and a little bit about your favorite Christmas tree that you may have at home. Stay with us, everybody. Jim Hall here, You Ought to Know, and simply, you want to stick around and watch this show because you may be after that special tree for this holiday season. Why? Because you ought to know. We'll be right back, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. Jim Hall, You Ought to Know, and we are in Yucaipa, California, just off Interstate 10, and you've heard us say that before because it was during the Halloween season. We were here at the Pumpkin Patch, but this time of year we're here at the Live Oak Canyon Christmas Tree Farm, and with me, Greg, introduce yourself.
Greg Palmer.
And Greg, we were here before for the pumpkins, and there's still pumpkins out there, isn't there?
There sure is.
Well, this time of year there's also Christmas trees, and we alluded to that, and we actually saw the trees a little bit earlier in the stage than where they are now. But here we are in the holiday season, and people are ready for Christmas trees.
Right. We've got all the trees ready for them, from field trees that we grow to noble fir, potted trees, and other things.
Well, let's talk about a little bit about the Christmas trees first off, because you got a beautiful expanse of property here. Let's talk again about the acreage and remind people how many acres we're looking at off of Interstate 10 here.
Well, the farm itself is about 40 acres. We've got 3 acres of Christmas trees right here, and then additional trees, noble fir and other things too. And
the Christmas trees then, how many trees does that represent if we talked about numbers?
Oh, there's over 3,000 trees in that field.
That's simply amazing to me. It boggles the mind. Now, Christmas trees, the ones that we see here that are being displayed today, that are ready to cut and ready to go, when were those planted originally?
Those were planted 2.5 years ago. And they've grown in the field. We've cultured them, sheared them, shaped them, taken care of bugs, and they're ready for people now.
So the trees that are out there, if they were planted 2.5 years ago for this particular season, is this an ongoing process? Are you planting this year, or have you already planted this year for a couple of years down the road?
Well, we have some changes with our location, and we're going to replanting elsewhere. But at this location, that's the last crop we have.
So this is it for this particular location, but you're relocating.
Right, we're going to relocate, we hope, for 09 and beyond. But 08 we'll be right back here at the same place that we are.
Okay, so let's talk about the Christmas trees. What does it take to care for a tree from the beginning? Where do you get the sibling trees or the seedling trees? Where do you get those, and what's the process then for caring for them?
Well, we grow them ourselves. We grow them in a nursery setting and seed the seed in. The seed's about the size of an apple seed. And we grow those on up to about a 4-inch tall tree, replant it in the nursery and culture it, get it about a year old or so, and then bring it to the field. And then the real work starts from there, shaping it into a Christmas tree.
Yeah, now all these seem to have that beautiful shape to them. This doesn't happen by themselves, does it?
No, it's not an accident. It takes a lot of very deliberate care, shaping the tree all the time, pruning the top of the tree, which we call the leader, and taking care of any kind of pest problems.
And what type of problems do you have when you're growing these trees?
Oh, any agricultural crop that there's a large quantity like this always has some different pest problems, and you just keep an eye and take care of them as they come.
Now, what about the people that are going to take these home? You hear all the time about safety with Christmas trees. Is it more advantageous to me, because I'll be doing a live tree here today, Do I have an advantage by getting a live tree as opposed to one that's been previously cut from Oregon or Washington and brought down?
Well, I think there's no real advantage one way or the other. You just want a fresh tree. The tree that we grow here is fresher, of course, than one that was brought down. But again, many retailers care for their trees from Oregon properly, and you can buy a good tree from anybody. Yeah.
So when you buy these trees, I take them home. Any secrets to what I need to do to care for it, to get longevity out of it, watch the needles falling off, that sort of thing?
Yes, it's very important when you get home with your tree to make a fresh cut. And immediately get a stand on it and immediately fill it with water. And never let the water go down in the stand. Those are the most important steps. And then, of course, keep it away from any heat source, a heater vent, or sunny window or fireplace in the house.
Well, you mentioned fresh cut tree. Now, do I need to cut off a piece of the base when I get it home again?
Yes, you do. Even if it's just minutes away, you need to make a fresh cut so that from the time of the fresh cut to in water is no more than a minute or so.
Now, that's something a lot of people may not realize or know, because they watch a lot of the Christmas tree lots where they bring the trees in on a truck, put them on a wooden stand or that type of stand until they get them home. They watch them cut off an inch or so on that, and they think that fresh cut is enough, but it really isn't, is it?
Absolutely not. No, they need to make a fresh cut before they put their water holding stand on.
Now, what about some of those things that we've heard, some of those old wives' tales, or are they real? Should I add 7-Up to the water? Is there a benefit to that? I even heard about adding a little drop of ammonia.
Well, I think it's anything that seems to work for you is good. All of us sell tree preservative products to put in the water that have been proven to work, but the water is the main thing.
All right, so keeping the tree watered, keeping it fresh, and then, of course, keeping it away from heat sources and so on to add longevity and safety in our home.
Right. Those are the main things you've got to do.
All right. Now, the Christmas Tree Farm itself, let's talk about your location here. How are people going to find you here? We've told them Interstate 10 at Live Oak Canyon. From Los Angeles and the high desert area where we are, it would be Interstate 15, and you can take the 30 and come around into Redlands to Interstate 10 and go east to Live Oak Canyon, correct?
That's the correct way, yes. And of course, our website, liveoakcanyon.com, has the directions on there as well.
Now, people can actually get on a mailing too. You can keep people posted through the seasons about what you have offered each year, correct?
That's correct, yeah. We send out a newsletter each year that tells them what's new for the season. And if they sign up here or buy a tree, they'll be on that list.
Now, is there anything new this season that you haven't done in previous seasons out here?
It's pretty much all the same. Of course, we have the petting zoos and the rides for the kids and the gift shop. And the gift shop, of course, changes every year and has new and interesting decorations in. And tree crop is really good this year. We've had just the right weather and beautiful trees.
Well, and a lot of trees are already walking out. We can see in the background here that some of the trees are already leaving here. This is going to be a busy weekend. A lot of trees are going to be cut, people coming in. And, of course, this is really a destination point for more than trees, because you mentioned the petting zoo. There's a kind of a fun zone area where the kids can get in the bounce houses and some of the things back there and have a great time.
Right. Yeah, it's a family tradition to come here for a lot of people and have an outing. It's more than just picking up a tree.
All right. Well, we're going to be back in just a moment, everybody. We're here at the Live Oak Canyon Christmas Tree Farm. Greg Palmer right here with me. We're going to be talking about the trees. We're actually going out in the acreage of trees, and we're going to cut a tree, and that's all coming up. Why? Because you ought to know. Stay with us, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. Jim Hall, you ought to know, along with Greg Palmer here at the Live Oak Canyon Christmas Tree Farm. Is that?
That's correct. You've got the name correct.
All right, and we're here off of Interstate 10. And if you want to come from the high desert area or the Los Angeles area, simply come out Interstate 10 from the high desert, Interstate 15 to highway to Interstate 30. To go to 30 and drop down onto the 10 and then come out here east to Live Oak Canyon. And you can't miss it because you're going to see acres and acres and acres of Christmas tree and even some pumpkins out here yet.
Right. Still some residual pumpkins from the pumpkin season.
Well, that's a good thing because it sure makes it easy to spot out here off the interstate. And I drove out past this morning real early out to Beaumont and took a real good look from some of the hillsides at some of this beautiful Christmas tree farm. And I just had a little bit of rain here just a few days ago, And that certainly has made this even more beautiful out here, hasn't it?
The rain was a real help to us. It washes the trees off, gets things freshened up, and makes for a perfect weekend.
Well, it certainly makes it better for picking a tree, I would imagine, for people like me who really don't know how to pick. So we're going to rely on you. You're going to show me some trees and show me how to pick a tree here. How about that?
That'd be great.
All right. Now, what's the first thing I want to consider on picking a tree for my home?
Well, you want to consider the space you have available at home, the width and the height. And so most people's ceilings are 8 foot tall, and so you want to keep that in mind. And then you just want to pick a tree that's the shape you like. We have wide ones, narrow ones, all different kinds.
Well, let's take a look at some. Tell me what we're looking at. For instance, let's go right over here. Now, these are all Monterey pine trees?
Right. In this field we're in, it's all Monterey pine. And this tree here next to us is well over 8 feet tall, so that might not fit in your house unless you've got a bigger ceiling. And so you'd search and find a tree that's the density you like and, the shape and the form that you prefer.
Now, when we pick a tree, for instance, I'm considering then, I guess my primary thing is, number one, what is the ceiling height that I really want to have to deal with, or that I can deal with. If I've got 8 foot ceilings, I can't put an 8 foot tree.
Right. You'd have to either shorten the top a little bit or shorten the trunk. And in our trees, we have a very long trunk on them, and you can remove a few inches there and get an 8 footer in most 8 foot homes.
Now, when you say you have a little bit longer trunk, that's the way that you actually prune the trees out here, I guess, when you're growing them?
That's correct. That's how we culture the tree for a lot of reasons to make the job easier for us growing it. And it also gives the customer plenty of options on how to install a different kind of stand.
All right, so you mentioned this is probably an 8 foot tree here.
Yes, it is.
And then we're going to move on down here. Seems to be a fairly well proportioned tree by height, not too squatty or too fat of a tree. But in relationship to that, this is a little bit shorter tree, but a little bit fatter around the bottom.
Right. Yeah, there's all different sizes and shapes out here, and just for different people's taste.
And that's not by accident, though. These have been pruned or grown this way.
Right. Well, and the tree naturally is going to be a fat tree or a skinny tree, and we kind of work the pruning to go with the tree how it's naturally wanting to be.
All right. So this one is a 6 footer?
It's about a 6.5, I would say.
All right.
They've all got a tag on them on the other side that shows the height of the tree, which we can see.
Yeah, let's look at one of the tags. In fact, there's one that's kind of a half tag. That means this tree has probably been reserved, right?
You're absolutely right. This tree was reserved earlier in the season, and we have it known by field, row, tree, and size. You can see on there we have all that. And we also have care instructions on the tag, how to care for your tree once you get home.
Now that brings up a good point. You have it right there by row, by, what is the first number?
Field,
That's
we're
the
in field 3, we're in row 16, tree 10, and the tree is 8.5 foot.
So do you have inventory on every single tree? You know what's out here?
We sure do, and we know who owns this tree.
All right, very good. So somebody's going to be back. I would imagine they've already been out to pick this out probably much in advance, or a few weeks in advance, I would imagine.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then they'll be back somewhere now in the season to have the tree cut, package it, and take it on home.
Right. You're absolutely right.
All right. Well, let's look at some more trees. Now, this one's going to be for if I had the large cathedral-type ceiling, right?
Right.
What are we looking at there? That's about an 11-footer, a 10-footer?
Oh, that's an 8.5 actually right there.
Oh, that's only an 8.5. All right. Well, this seems to be a full tree.
That's a nice full one, yeah. And again, it's one that somebody already liked it and reserved it earlier in the season.
And they do have their reservation. Now, we don't tell on the tag. We can't tell who that is. You know who it is.
We know who it is.
And we don't know when they're coming back.
That's correct. We're open till the 21st of December for picking up reserved trees. And, the beauty of reserving a tree early is getting it out of the way so you can do your holiday shopping and then come back and get the tree at your convenience.
All right. Now, let's talk about pricing on trees. Most places, I remember in the older days, they all sold them by the foot. Is it still pretty much that way?
Well, we figure our pricing by the foot, but the price on the tree is just a set price. A tree like this might be $55 or $59, and we just price the trees by their individual characteristics.
Okay, now you have other trees, though, here on the lot. These are the ones you're growing fresh, right here. You're actually growing them. That's the Monterey pine. But you do have other trees available.
We sure do. We have noble fir and grand fir, and we care for those trees differently than a lot of cut lots would do. When they come off the truck from Oregon or Washington, we make a fresh cut. We put them in our water storage area where the butt of the tree is actually in water, has misters overhead to keep the tree fresh. And then when it's brought up to our display area for retail display, we make another fresh cut, put a stand on that holds water, keep it full of water, and have it available for the customer. So the best care that can possibly be given to the tree.
All right. Well, we're going to get a chance to actually cut a tree here coming up, Greg. You're going to show us a great tree to cut, okay? Are you ready to do that?
We are.
All right, we're going to do that. We're going to take a look at some of the animals over in the petting zoo area, and we're also going to look at some of those noble fir trees. We're even going to take a look at some Christmas wreaths, live Christmas, the real smell. People can even come and get a wreath here.
Right. We have fresh wreaths and garland.
All right. Why are we here at the Live Oak Canyon Christmas Tree Farm? Well, simply because you need a Christmas tree. This is the place to come and bring the family and have fun, even hay rides.
Even hay rides.
You can come out horse-drawn
hay rides today.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they're out here. And why? Because you ought to know. Stay with us, everybody. We're going to have some fun. Welcome back, everybody. Jim Hall, you ought to know, at the Live Oak Christmas Tree Farm here in Yucaipa, just off of Live Oak Canyon, Interstate 10, and Greg Palmer here. Greg, the trees continue. These are live trees, Monterey pine, right?
That's correct.
And let's talk about the trees first off, because number one, these are recyclable and renewable. Tell us what that means.
That's correct. A lot of things can be recycled, such as aluminum or plastic, but not many things are renewable. And we can grow another Christmas tree for you, where a plastic artificial tree, it may be recyclable, but it is definitely not renewable.
Well, we certainly have the trees out here today, and again, refresh our memory. 40 acres out here in this property, but how many trees are you talking about?
There's about 3,000 trees in this field we're in.
And people coming out here to have a great time on the weekends. Well, during the week too, but the weekends sure pack up, don't they? How many people do you think get here on an average weekend during the holiday season?
Oh, probably over 1,000 people.
So that's going to be a lot of trees.
A lot of trees.
All right. Well, we've actually got part of our family here, and they've actually spotted a tree. Let's walk over here, Greg. This is, what size tree is this one?
It's about a 7-foot tree here. It's a beautiful tree.
All right. And you guys picked this tree out? You're all good to go with this?
Good to go. This is the one we
All right. This is the one they want. Come on in. And this is, who are you?
My name is Matt Meyer.
Matt, you're going to cut the tree for us.
Absolutely. Look forward to it.
All right. You ready to do this? We're going to see the tree being cut. This is actually going to be taken down and taken home for the Christmas season. Now, as you mentioned before, he's going to do the cut, and you've got, you said you have a long
handle or a long trunk, we call it, and we do that so that it's easy to install your Christmas tree stand.
And there it is. Came down just that quick.
That easy. Yep.
All right. So the next step is there's a fresh cut there once the tree has been cut. But once we get it home, we're going to want to do a fresh cut again and get it into water within about a minute or so.
Right. The quicker into water, the better.
All right. So what's going to happen now in this process? We've done the tree.
Matt's going to carry this tree down to the bagging area,
You ready,
and
Matt?
we're going to
Let's do it.
We're going to bag it up and get it ready to take out to your vehicle and head it on home.
Okay. Now, while he does that, how many trees do you say we're going to get? About 1,000 people here doing trees or looking or having a good time out here. How many trees will walk out today and get packaged just like this one?
Well, we're hoping a few hundred trees go home with families today. And, family comes with 4 to 6 people in a group. And so we're hoping a couple hundred trees at least go out of here today.
All right. Now tell me about the petting zoo out here. We've got what types of animals? I remember some of the goats, but there's more than that back there.
Yeah, there's goats and sheep, and there's some emus, there's some pigs, there's some ponies to see, there's a pony ride. Lots of fun animals to see down there.
All right. Now, Matt's got this thing up here. He's getting it ready to go. Tell us the process. What's he doing there?
Well, we call this bagging the tree. It's a netting material that condenses the size of the tree, makes it a little easier for the family to handle, getting it into their vehicle and also into their house.
And actually on the tag, you mentioned there is even instructions how to care for the tree. Tell me some of the things I need to do now. The fresh cut, I know.
Yeah, the fresh cut is the most important. Then immediately into a water stand, and then when you select the location in your home for your tree, make sure it's away from any heat source.
All right. Now we're going to decorate that tree up, obviously. Our family's going to have that at home, and it's already packaged just that quick. The tree has been taken down, packaged, and made ready to go in just a matter of about 4 minutes here.
Right, very quick.
Now the families, though, can certainly come out and have a great time here because you've got, I remember some of the food over there, and you got some great drinks too. But you have a gift shop here. I mean, this really is a destination point, isn't it?
It is, yeah. The gift shop, a lot of people come just for our gift shop. There's a lot of good things in there that you can't find elsewhere.
Well, I've seen the families out here with some of the young ones, and they have video cameras and their digital cameras, and they come out here and they actually help make some memories here, don't they?
They sure do.
That's got to feel good doing that kind of thing here in the community and having people come from everywhere.
Yeah, it sure does. We get thanked frequently by the customers.
All right. Well, Let's talk a little bit about the gift shop. Tell me some of the unique things that you've had over the years or what you've got in there that we can't find anywhere else.
Well, we have things that you wouldn't find in the big box retailers that you only show up in private, smaller gift shops. We have a product called Big Stuff, which are almost life-size reindeer and life-size Santas and things. We have different themed trees of different colors, such as the gold area or the silver trees, and just a lot of unique things. Nativity sets, things like that.
Now you have during the earlier season, when the pumpkins are in season for Halloween and that sort of area, you get a lot of school groups come out here. Do you get that with the Christmas season as well?
We do. It's a much smaller volume during Christmas time, but still a lot of schools visit the farm to see how trees are grown.
So they actually get to learn and come out and experience and walk the fields and see what goes on and where Christmas trees come from rather than just out in the parking lot at your favorite supermarket.
That's right. They come here and they actually go home with a little Christmas tree seedling of their own to experience trying to grow a tree.
Now tell us about the seedlings. Let's start back at the beginning. We saw the tree cut and it's packaged over there ready to go for us. But this process, as you keep it going, when you grow the seedlings, how does that process all start?
Well, we start in the nursery and we seed the seed into the ground, and 14 days to 20 days later the seedling pops up and we culture it, and then again we move it up to a wider spacing in the nursery, about a year in the nursery, and then it goes to the field to be planted.
Now how many seedlings will you do, for instance, on any given year?
4,000 to 5,000, so we can select the very best ones to come to the field.
And the seeds, if I were after the seeds, where would I get them if you were to tell me how to do this? Would I get them off of these trees that are growing now?
No, they're not old enough to produce seed. We buy our seed directly from New Zealand. They grow and breed Monterey pine in New Zealand, and that's where we get our seed.
All right, one more time, Greg, tell us where we are and how to get here.
We're at Live Oak Canyon Christmas Tree Farm at the corner of the 10 Freeway and Live Oak Canyon Road in the city of Yucaipa.
And real easy to find because you can spot it right here off the freeway. I mean, it is right off the freeway, so you can spot the Christmas trees and all this beautiful surrounding. The property here is just fantastic. And, of course, there's the hay rides out here, the petting zoos out here, and you've got so much more.
Right. Lots of fun things for families to do to have a complete day.
All right. Greg, thank you so much for being with us. Why did we come to Live Oak Canyon Christmas Tree Farm? Well, simply to get a fresh Christmas tree, to have a great experience, and we're going to go over and sample some of the food here, go see some of the animals, and have a great time as well, and even take a few pictures of our own. Why are we here? Well, simply because you ought to know. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be right back to wrap it up. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. Jim Hall, You Ought to Know, from the Live Oak Christmas Tree Farm here in Yucaipa, just off Interstate 10 at Live Oak Canyon. And we enjoyed talking with Greg Palmer, right here, the owner of the Christmas Tree Farm, where we learned a lot about Christmas trees. In fact, we learned about the Monterey pines that grow right here, the noble firs, which they bring in from Oregon and Washington, and the fact they have the petting zoo, the kids zone, hay rides, and this beautiful expanse of Christmas trees, beautiful property, a destination point for families to come and have a great weekend time picking out their Christmas tree for the holiday season. We learned a lot today. We know now we have to do a fresh cut on our Christmas tree, get it into water right away. And why did we come to Live Oak Canyon Christmas Tree Farm? Well, simply because you ought to know. See you next time, everybody.